Guys, can we please give a warm welcome to the other host of the show, the other guy who puts this together, my fucking friend, my life partner, everybody thinks we're gay. Please give it up for Alan Snyder, everybody.
Give it up for yourselves! And give it up for Harrison for deciding mid-sentence not to say best friend because his actual best friend is here. I'm so glad you guys are here. This is the best. So I'm married to a goth girl. It rules. It's the best. We've been married for 5 years. Yeah, we can get a clap for that. I don't know if it was for me or for the idea of a goth girl, but I'll take it. So we've been together, we've been married for 5 years, and what I've learned about marriage in 5 years is that goth girls wear those clothes everywhere you go. I'll be like, why am I getting such a weird vibe from this cashier? And then I remember that I'm buying groceries with the girl from The Ring, right? Dude, we had this vet, and the vet only talks to me. And she'll be like, that's sexist, the vet only talks to you, he doesn't talk to me. And she'll say that while she's dressed like a woman who died in 1744. To be like, look, dude, I don't know if that's sexist. I just think maybe he doesn't feel comfortable speaking Transylvanian. I've decided that if he ever does talk to her, I'm going to be like, hey, man, you can see her? I thought I was the one who could see her. Does she have unfinished business? Make some noise if you're in love tonight. That's right, flex on everybody else who didn't make a sound. That's great. I was thinking about when I first met my wife, we felt so super in love, but I was super insecure because I was like, oh man, she's so incredible. I bet her ex was like, it must have been crazy awesome. So I took her to Hawaii 3 months into our relationship. That's too early, right? And so while we were there, Dr. P fucking hates Hawaii. So while we're there, she's like, I want to tell you about my ex. And I was like, no, I don't want to know anything about him. She's like, why? He's like one of those guys who would only talk about what he wanted to talk about. And the thing that she said that he liked to talk about was elves. He was super into elves. So instead of taking her on dates, he would take her to the park where he would tell her about elves and elf lore. And then sometimes he would yell at her because she wasn't asking enough follow-up questions about elves. I was like, God damn it, I didn't have to take you to Hawaii. And she was like, yeah, you could have just taken me to a park and not talked about elves. I would have talked about you to my girlfriend. She'd be like, you only talked about elves a normal amount. It was great. But now, like, the shoe's on the other foot because, like, she got really into romantasy. Do you guys know what that is? It's like those romance books that are also, like, smut, right? But that was just the tip of the smut spear because now she reads these 1,000-page books that are, like, about the political organizations of genies. No sex, just, like, dry genie politics. And she's like, you can't call them genies, they're gins. Genie is like the N-word to gins. And I was like, oh, this is what I sound like when I'm talking to Republicans. Like, I'm like, you have rules for your imaginary thing? Like, that's crazy. So, while we were in Hawaii, she told me that like her ex, in addition to being into elves, he also lived in a tent for the whole time that they were dating. And I was like, hey, some stuff you don't gotta tell me. Like, I don't need to know that you got crabs and ticks in the same place. That's the Seattle Surf and Turf, dude. That's fine. She's like, you can't tell that joke on stage. You can't tell people that I got crabs. Which I'm pretty sure means she got ticks, right? Like that's what that sounds like to me. I don't know. I'm always nervous at the start of dating somebody. So when I was in my early 20s, I had a date with this girl I had a big crush on in high school, and she wanted to go get sushi. But I grew up poor, so I'd never had sushi before. So I went the day before to the same restaurant to practice getting sushi. Right? And so the waitress came up to me, I was like, hey, is there anything I need to know about this? And she was like, no, it's sushi. And so I ate the sushi and it was fine. And then I ate the big glob of avocado. It wasn't a big glob of avocado. And she came over and I was like, I thought I didn't need to know anything. And she was like, well, you should know most people don't normally cry this much. There's a lot of crying going on. I was like, why didn't you tell me that was wasabi? She's like, I don't know, dude, I don't normally have to explain to people not to eat piles of random green stuff that are out. So I go back the next day for the date, same waitress. She's like, hey, this guy was crying in here the day before. And I was like, God damn it, you are the worst waitress I've ever had in my life. She's like, what are you gonna do, cry about it? And then I had the worst date that I've ever had, right? Like my date sitting across from me, afraid that I'm gonna kill her. I'm sitting there afraid of the wasabi, right? And so the check comes out and I was like, hey, I always tip. I'm not gonna tip you, just so you know. And she's like, that's fine, that makes sense. But she should definitely tip me. Like this, I saved this girl from either getting murdered or the most disappointing sex of her life. And I was like, hey, I'm just never gonna kill anybody. And I'm definitely not gonna get to have disappointing sex with this girl now. Come on, dude, a guy in his early 20s who's never had sushi, that's not a compassionate lover. That's not, no one's looking forward to that. I'll keep talking about dating. So before I met my wife, I dated a legitimate compulsive liar. She told me that she was fluent in Spanish, and I believed her because that is a bonkers insane thing to lie about, especially right before a trip to Spain, where they make Spanish, dude. It's paella, bullfighters, and Spanish is like most of it. We get off the plane and we go to the train ticket taker guy, and he's like, dos? And she's like, gracious. I wasn't fluent, but I knew enough to know that trip was gonna go mal, right? So her plan was to like just pretend that no one else was speaking Spanish. So people, like this guy would come up to her and he would say something to her in Spanish and she would just like not react until he got extremely fed up with that conversation and walk away. And she'd be like, yeah, that guy wasn't speaking Spanish. I was like, the Spanish waiter at the Spanish restaurant in the capital of Spain wasn't speaking Spanish? She's like, don't be rude, his name wasn't the Spanish waiter. She's like, I know, he said his name, it was Juan Pablo Cortez. I remember because I'd never met a conquistador before. I was gonna ask him what he was doing during the Inquisition. Whoa, we got some people mad about the Inquisition still. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. All right, we'll change topics. Do you guys remember when Kanye announced that he was a Nazi for the first time? And we were all like, ooh, Kanye, you better not do that 2 more times. You do that 2 more times, I'm gonna take you off my gym playlist, Kanye. I mean, I'm gonna pretend that I took you off my gym playlist, Kanye. Like the news wanted me to care that he like tweeted that he sucked his cousin's dick every day. I don't care about that. He's Kanye West. He's the greatest white accessible rapper of his generation. Greatest rapper, greatest producer, and the greatest cousin, honestly. It sounds like I got lots of cousins, none of them have ever blown me. I don't know, I guess like I just miss the old Kanye, you know? I bet a lot of people my age miss the old Kanye. I bet Kanye misses the old Kanye. I bet Kanye's cousins miss the old Kanye. So I've been with my wife for 8 years total. We've been married for 5 years. We're trying to have kids. Give it up for that. But I've got to keep it spicy now because we are plugging away pretty hard. So I decided that I was going to try dirty talk. And the other day I was like, yeah, you're such a slut. And she was like, yeah, I've been with one man for 8 years. I'm such a slut. And it turns out that if you don't do the dirty talk voice, it's not dirty talk, it's just inaccurate communication. She's like, do you want me to be a slut? And I was like, no, I feel like that made me really sad. She's like, that's sweet. Pussy? I was like, and she's like, why would you even call me that? And I was like, dude, I don't know, like any guy, I probably just spent too much time watching like my parents say it, you know? But here's the thing, you can't get too creative with dirty talk, right? Like, we're all adults. We've all been with someone who said something a little bit too weird and just messed everything up, right? The craziest thing that anyone ever said to me in bed was this woman goes, treat me like I'm a hole in a board. You want me to complain about you to my landlord? Pour a rug over you, pretend like you're not there, like post on Reddit and see if they think you have termites? She's like, no, treat me like I'm a hole in a board and hammer me. And I was like, oh, do you not know how a hammer works? And she's like, dude, are you really surprised that the girl who said treat me like I'm a hole in a board didn't have a dad who taught her tool stuff? Like, thank you guys, I've been out. Dr. P, how are you?
I'm good. Alan, darling, could you move the mic stand?
I can
down here,
absolutely
please?
move the mic stand.
Oh, thank
I wanted to hide
you. You are
behind
my
it a
number
little
one
bit.
fan. You knew Mental Health Awareness Month.
She
You
got a
were
heart on
singing
her shirt.
Excuse me, ladies are talking.
Oh no, my show just failed the Bechdel test. Go ahead, Sam.
Two laughs versus a cheer. I think I'm winning. Women supporting women, and you cut me off, and then you're complaining that you're with a woman that actually reads.
She's the best.
Yeah.
She's got a book with her right now.
That might be because your set is boring. I mean, I'm waiting for this relationship to continue because I feel like I love my wife so much. I love her so much just so you can tell you all the dirty war stories that you ever had before you met her. And as your career goes on, I bet you're going to embellish them somewhat more. And one night, she's going to be like, what? I don't know that woman. Did you see someone on the side?
I mean, even if I did, I would just end up crying at a sushi restaurant. I'm not worried about it.
I don't think you need a restaurant, Alan. I think you can just cry.
That's like such a nice way to support like men's vulnerability. After she called me a sexist.
I feel Alan loves to be the pseudo-therapist. Like, secretly, this is what he wants to do in the show. But he does it to me every time. Let me just have a I will tell you that I felt this time there was some patterns that were coming up. Are you open to anything about that?
I'm open to whatever you want to tell me, Dr. P.
Right, so I would imagine you told the woman that you loved her very quickly, that you married, you took her to Hawaii
Absolutely.
very quickly. It's a pattern of premature. I'm not going to say the word, but that might be why the baby's not arrived yet.
The faster I am, the faster the baby will get here. So actually, it's a good idea. Fellas, back me up.
So maybe my solution to you might be turkey baster.
In which end?
Well, again, we're dealing with male wisdom and female gynecology, which is how we started the show, if I remember. A pro saying down there is the vagina. So with that, Alan, we all love Alan, don't we? You have...
A little bit less than you did a second ago.
Yeah, that's true. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month.
Thank you very